We don't think that getting attention from black guys gives you a status of some sort. If you get attention from the white guys, you do have the status more than if you get attention from black guys.
As a man, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with that.
Well, as a woman who gets attention and who grew up in a white culture more than a black culture, I'm going to tell you that getting attention from black guys is not a badge of honor if you're white.
Okay.
And I'm white.
You are white.
Yes.
Hey guys, so I wanted to come on here and talk about Da Brat and her wife, Big Booty Judy, who announced a while back that they were pregnant. And listen, let me say this. Generally, I don't really pay attention to Brat and her relationship. I think that for most people in my age group, we kind of knew that Da Brat was in the LGBTQ community. We had never heard of her dating anyone, especially not a man. She always kind of dressed boyish. So there were signs and speculation, really, that Da Brat was in the LGBTQ community. So when it was announced, I don't think it was a surprise to many people. Although Lisa Ray did act like she didn't know about it, but I don't believe that she didn't, because if that's your real sister, then you would already know what her status was. But this isn't about Da Brat's sexual orientation, because please understand, I really don't care who chooses to be with who at all. I will sit up here and, of course, educate black women on the manipulative tactics of bandits and how they weaponize access to other groups of women against you, pointing out all of their contradictions and how everyone gets the same black man. But I really couldn't care less about who is with whom. As with everything, I want to use this as a teachable moment, because when I looked at the comment section on Instagram and on Twitter, when I tell you black people are losing their minds because Da Brat and Judy let it be known that they chose a white sperm donor for their child, they are online losing their minds. And that's what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about the concentrated black male worship that's on autopilot, and how within our community, because black men have already shown and stated that they couldn't care less about preserving blackness, of course, just like everything else in the black community, it rests on black women's shoulders. And because black women already have an innate vanity and worship of their own blackness, this is not a problem for them. I also want to point this out because this is denied. When I sit here and I say that black women are looking at generational curses and they're tolerating them all for the sake of having a baby that is nothing more than black and has black skin, I am right when I say that. And the reason I say that is because you can look at the community and see it. The reality is bandits don't provide anything to black women except their genetic material. And because they possess the genetic material to continue on the skin tone that black women prefer, they'll deal with the lack of building, the crime, the treason, the disloyalty, and everything that comes with having a bandit as a preference. And I understand why black women largely have bandits as preferences and will restrict themselves from other men who could potentially help them build generational wealth, a true legacy, a name for their child, because the community dynamic is one and such to where black women are conditioned to have low standards, to no standards, accommodate the nothing as bitch status of these bandits, and to look at them as if they're the only ones who should be chosen. In an effort to do this, religion has been weaponized against black women. Basically anything that can be weaponized against black women in order to keep them rooted to some struggle bandits who have nothing to offer them except dick, dust, and heartache has been used in an effort to keep black women's minds the way that it is. So I understand why we think the way that we do. What I don't understand is why we continue to watch the treasonous behaviors of bandits, their disrespectful mindset, their nasty attitudes, the fact that they don't have any resources and ain't trying to get none, and move on to a better group of men. I don't understand why we don't look at that and see the writing on the wall and use it as motivation to think about what is in our best interest as black women and make decisions based on that, not based on who is going to help us keep black skin alive that black men don't even really want and reject all the time. But We're going to get into that. I do want to give a shout out and thanks to everyone who contributes to the content on this channel. If you would like to contribute, you can do so by emailing me. The email is in the description box and pinned to the comment section. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. When you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe to all notifications so that you'll know every time I go live and when I upload new content. Now, if you've been considering homeschooling or feel your child is not thriving in public school, consider the Zyx Institute. This is a STEM-based, Afro-centered educational program for Black youth. Children can attend daily classes online or in the classroom at one of their 2 New York-based facilities. You can also make a tax-deductible donation to this nonprofit organization using PayPal, or you can donate via GoFundMe using the links in the description box. So go to thezyxinstitute.org and enroll your child today. Listen, anybody can disagree with what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it again. The primary reason that Black women want to bear children with Black men is because they are Black. Black women are not thinking about the experience that their children are going to have growing up in this society. They're not thinking about the environment. They're not thinking about the man, whether he'll be a good father or not. They're not thinking about anything beyond his Black skin. The reason we know that is because when situations present themselves that require Black women to highlight the reasons for bearing children and what they value most about Black men, because again, I'll emphasize that they're not really doing anything to be valuable. Sidebar, these bandits have nasty attitudes. They have no money. They've been in a nothing-ass bitch position in society for a very long time. They sit up on public platforms, demean and degrade Black women. They refuse to marry you. They abandon your children. They're very physically and verbally abusive. They toe tag you. They don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, and they don't want to get one, especially if that means you're going to have something to fall back on. In addition to that, they're always propping non-Black women and their wombs up on a pedestal, talking about how much better they are than you. Anytime they get the opportunity to slight you, shade you, disrespect you, or harm you, they take it. And if there isn't an opportunity readily available, they'll create one. Yet, these are the males that Black women have dedicated to themselves. And someone needs to hold up the mirror to Black women so that you can see how you look. You do not look smart or loyal or anything that you may be thinking when you dedicate yourself to bandits who have nothing to offer you except disrespect, dust, treason, disloyalty, and abandonment. They are a burden to you. They are not making your life easier. They are making your life harder. They do the same thing to your children. They are inappropriately touching your daughters before they even turn teenagers at a very high rate. So they are damaging your children. They're committing the crimes in the community and making them unsafe. It will be one thing if these bandits weren't contributing to all the ills of the community, being that they have nothing to offer, ain't built no wealth, want to nest under the skirts of non-Black women. It would be one thing if they just sat quietly, shut their ass up, and stayed in a nothing-ass bitch position, but they refuse to do that. What they choose to do, though, is loudly, obnoxiously, and aggressively tell the world how much they hate you. You, the one that give them life. You, the one who advocate for them. You're the one who let them drag they raggedy 3 trash bags into your home so that they will have one. Them who have nothing but an air mattress on a floor in the basement of their mama's home. Those are the ones who are loudly, obnoxiously, and arrogantly demeaning and degrading you every chance they get. And they do it because no matter how much they consistently engage in this behavior, you consistently tell the world that they are your preference, that they are kings without a kingdom, that you will never be with any other group of men, and that quite frankly some of you would prefer to be single than to go find a better group of men to invest in, because what you have invested in is a group of nothing ass bitches, and likely the return on your investment was also nothing. So when I saw this posted to every single blog and looked at the comment section, I was like, oh, this is really rich, because most Black women are just not learning. They're still prioritizing Blackness over a legacy. They're still prioritizing bandits over men who can give them fathers, husbands, and providers. They're still choosing wrong. And the reason why I'm saying you're choosing wrong is because this has been a generational cycle. At this point, Black women have have been seeing the writing on the wall. They just choose to ignore it like they've always been doing. You already know that when you walk out of your home, if you feel unsafe, it is not because of anybody other than the bandits that you prefer. You already know that it is the responsibility of these bandits to build up communities, get black-centered schools and grocery stores, and build economic generational wealth, but they refuse to do so. When they do get the wealth,